Namaste. Welcome. We are glad that you are here. We are speaking as one voice, joined with Mukti Ananda Ma, to offer what you may call a teaching or a transmission. We offer this as a part of the eternal way of life lived out on a journey, not a linear journey, but you can think of it as a spiral journey, both spiraling out into infinity and spiraling in to infinity, simultaneously limited and unlimited in the journey. When one identity, one box, if you will, of consciousness that serves as an embodiment that will experience this segmented part of your own consciousness, a journey through time and space and all the dimensions that consciousness is wired up to perceive. In this particular seemingly world of death, where this identity of Mukti Ananda Ma is wired up to experience going from limited identity of mortality, finishing in death, to mortality expanding into eternal identity, being born from the mortal to become or recollect the eternal identity, all in one stream of a lifetime. What we wish to bring to your recollection today is the remembrance of the eternal way of creating, when one wishes to go from a contrasted experience to an experience of oneness, such as from death to life, from the world of death to the world of life without death, but through transfiguration. And what we call the light to illuminate is the fact of creating from simple and completely illogical, from the limited mind, the point of rest, the still point, the 0 point, the no effort point, simple awareness of who you are and what all is. There is great effort, the greatest effort that one can imagine, in resisting one's own illumination, divinity, and wakefulness, in resisting one's one's own eternal nature. Many of those in the seemingly world of death who are awakening to their eternal truth of being, which is available in every moment, regardless of the world you perceive yourself to be, are very exhausted. And that is because the amount of effort it requires to resist, to fight off, to wall up against the truth of your eternal nature and all that that means. The eternal nature is a nature of goodness, of infiniteness, of timelessness, of grace, of an intelligence that is so extraordinary no mind can comprehend it. It takes a great amount of energy of your own consciousness and being to wall up yourself from this truth of your being. And so those who are the closest to embodying their eternal nature are often the most exhausted, for as they have not completely let go yet they're more and more aware of the great tidal waves pushing up against the walls around their identity, their limited identity, pushing in on them as they're trying to maintain that illusion. They are exhausted. They are worn out. Until one completely surrenders to the knowing that there is no death and there is no figuring out from the limited mind how to avoid it, how to escape it, how to transcend it, but simply rest in the knowing that is not yet revealed to this limited identity in an outward manifestation, that the I am is eternal in nature and eternal not just in the qualities of never-ending life, but in the qualities of never-ending goodness. Until one rests in this, there will be great exhaustion, and the more awakening that happens, the more awakening of your eternal mind, your eternal consciousness and body, with that limited focal point, the more exhaustion you will feel. Until you give it all up. You give up all the logic. You give up all the thought systems of the world of seeming death. And you just allow yourself to be empty-minded. And in that empty-minded, and we mean empty, limited-mindedness, then you will open up to the infinite mind that will dance in your consciousness with the impossible dreams, the impossible life, and the realities that are there waiting for you to embody. You will begin living in this infinite mind with not a care of the limited world that currently fills your screen. For you know that in a matter of time, it will dissolve to reveal where your awareness is now fixated on. You give over to these grand fantasies of the infinite mind that begin to play out when you unleash and untether yourself from the mind of death, from the mind and thinking of the world of death, And in that, you free up yourself, your energy, your light, your life force. You will know that you are exactly doing this when you feel a lightness of being, as if you are the air itself, as if you are the molecules dancing in the air, as if you are flying through space. We thought it important to bring this to you now, you who are listening, because you have been resisting these delightful and possible fantasies of the infinite mind, instead grounding yourself to a world of death, grounding in your day-to-day, believing this is all that is, this is what you need to escape, giving it lots of attention in your overcoming efforts, in your efforts of transcendence, acceptance, and all the other spiritual practices that are still bound by the world of death. So we encourage you to give over to the fantasies of the infinite mind, to allow that consciousness to be ever present, for your awareness to be glued to it like a lover. And this is what we wish to give you today, this day, this moment in time, this opportunity in time to be with the limitless and make a new choice, a new decision, a new direction, a new way. And so we invite the representative of humanity now to ask any questions that may arise from the consciousness that is and will be in time and outside of time, tuning into this transmission.
Thank you. I feel like I struggle with the very thing you're talking about. I have always daydreamed and had fantasies of doing the impossible since I can remember. And yet, I don't see it manifest in my life in the tangible way that I imagine it. I have witnessed miracles and magical events, but not the ones from my imagination. I guess the question is, now that the matrix is laid and ready, this year will be full of that manifesting.
If your consciousness is full of the infinite mind, then in time the infinite mind will reveal itself on the screen that is you. If your mind is occupied this year with the limited thoughts of the limited mind, you will continue to see the limited experiences playing out as your limited self on the screen of you. Where your attention rests,
Thank you.
does that make it clear?
It's clearer, yes.
It seems that you're saying that you have done all this of dwelling in the infinite mind, and you have seen no evidence of it on the screen of life. But you have not dwelled, you'd have moments. You've had moments, and then for whatever reason, you walled yourself up in your limited mind and resisted those as truth. As you allow yourself to be in the infinite mind and consciousness with your awareness, enjoying these fantasies throughout your day, you will see where the limited mind comes in to rein you back, to put a wall up between it and the infinite mind, to reason with you, to bring you confusion, to bring you anger and other emotional thoughts that try to convince you that it is not true, it is not possible, it is not happening, it is not for you, whatever the thing is. And so the invitation is to rest in as you rest in your bed. At night, you rest in rest while you allow the consciousness of the infinite mind to play out in mind. And then at some point of time, in the most mysterious ways that the logical mind can never dream up, you will experience the unfoldment of going from the limited seed to the unlimited tree of life.
Thank you. That's very clear. That speaks to my next question for myself and I imagine many others. The two thought streams of the limited self and the divine self. As you stated, I don't dwell on it, immerse myself. I am momentarily on it. And then the limitation of reality.
And that is where the problem is. The limited self calls reality limited. It calls the limited current reality. And as long as that is pinned to your awareness, that is what you will experience. If you call reality what the infinite mind is showing you, then you shall see that in time. The limited mind will tell you that reality is your current outer expression, but that is just the shadow of the reality going on in your consciousness. Consciousness is the one and only reality that casts its shadow upon the screen of life for it to be experienced in another way.
Thank you. And while I know this is true, and I know many do as well, how does one pin one's awareness consistently to the truth?
Your awareness is always pinned to something. It's not something you need to learn to do. You just need to be paying attention to where it is pinned. If one is preoccupied on overcoming limitation rather than being unlimited, then your awareness is pinned to the limited mind. Does that make sense?
It does.
So regardless of what you're doing in your life, you can always pin your awareness to the unlimited, the limitlessness, the infinite I am unfolding its truth of being unlimited, of being whatever fantasy it is running in its mind, that it is unfolding from a seed of limitation, unfolding out into its infinite expression. We have mistaken ourselves for the seed instead of the tree that is coming out of the seed, that infinite tree of life that will forever extend into the light.
The tipping point of moving from knowing to experiential reality, where it is consistently your experience, your imagination made manifest. what can you speak more to the tipping point, that momentum of overcoming?
There comes a point when you're not looking for a tipping point, because the act of dwelling in the infinite mind is so blissful that you're not watching the clock. You're not watching your outer manifestations. You are in bliss in union with the infinite mind. When you are at that point where this question is no longer a concern, you are there. You are on the precipice, and it'll come and surprise you when you're least expecting it. And so that probably ended the questions.
Yes, thank you.
Is there another?
Any advice for myself or others on how to keep the awareness, as you said, when you're going to sleep or through the day, focused on the
Yes, just silence, in being in silence, attuned to nature. The limited mind has its habits of maintaining the identity of limitations that were formed. Some were built in your embodiment, and some were developed during the beginning years of your embodiment. But these were just repeated actions of thought that were done over and over and reinforced by the external world. And so there is a bit of effort involved in becoming effortless, like the Bible says, labor to rest. But after a while, the rest is so inviting and enticing all the time that it's easy to slip into that rest in the infinite mind, to give one's entire self over to the world that it reveals, the identity that it reveals itself to be as you. And the limited mind cannot hold it back any longer with its concerns and questions and fears, for the union is too great. The love affair has begun, and then no effort is required. But in the beginning, yes, there is a courting phase, if you will. Effort is required to show up, to be there, to make an effort to get to know your infinite mind, to romance it, to give it space, to allow it to play and express. Does that help?
Does, as your answers tend to do. And it's ironic because the friction is really against oneself. If you're creating the effort to contain the limited self.
It is. And it was all done from an infinite place. And so if you are hearing these words and receiving this transmission of recollection, then it is your time to remember that you are more than the seed. And the shell of the seed, the hull of the seed, cannot contain you forever. And you are at that moment now where you are breaking through that seed and pushing through the earth, pushing through the darkness of forgetfulness and reaching towards the light of the infinite. We thank you now. We love your questions. We are with you. We are one.